What's up? This is going to be a video on Hemi versus non-Hemi and the differences and how to tell the differences and whatnot. It's always kind of a debate. You get these guys that just swear by the Hemi motors. Don't get me wrong, they're not bad. Some are just die hard because of the whole Dodge Hemi thing. Doesn't mean anything special. It's just the head design. But as far as building power, the non-Hemi is the way to go. Some people don't want to hear that because they're just hardcore. They'll call you haters or whatever, whatnot. The non-Hemi is the way to go if you want to modify and make power. And make a nice quick street cruiser, this is fine. And don't get me wrong, I would like to actually do one of these just to do it. But I'm not spending all this money on machine work, and I'm going to explain to you why. So, this is pretty much for beginner builders, mini bikers, whatever, go-karters. Because a lot of them don't know the difference. So, it's your Hemi head, it's your non-Hemi head. Your Hemi head's going to have that big valve cover on it, which is aluminum. Your non-Hemi is going to have this one, which is sheet metal. Let me turn this light down a little bit. A little bit too much light. That's better. This head's brand new. This is off a 224, but it's a non-Hemi. This head was never being used yet. This was off a go-kart a friend of mine found in the trash, and the motor was full of water. I actually cleaned that all up. That was in horrible condition. But I can't really see down in there, but it's all trashed in there. Anyway. Alright, the difference between Hemi and non-Hemi. Although it don't look that much different, the Hemi head is a hemispherical head. It's basically like a dish. Right in here, it's a perfect dish. Now the valves are on an angle. They're both angled for flow characteristics. In theory, yes, this works. They say they flow more. I don't really think they do because, you know, it's still kind of closed off in there. It might flow. You might get a little bit better shot of air through there, but not too much. Just a little bit. The non-Hemi, the valves are flat. They're flat. They're parallel with the deck. And they move straight up and down. To where the non-Hemi, they come in on an angle. Both of them come in on an angle. They open on an angle, close on an angle, and blah, blah, blah. Now, here's the problem with that. They use this big head gasket on it. This is a 30 thousandths head gasket. That's where these come with a 10 thousandths head gasket. Because in the non-Hemi, or in the Hemi, they put a flat top piston in there to build compression. And it's a flat top, completely flat across the top, no dish. Where this is actually out of the same motor as this. This has a little dish in it. This is out of the same motor. This is actually out of that motor. When I bought that motor, I tore all this shit out and put all my own stuff in there. Alright, well, when these open up, they come in on an angle. So, I wish I had this apart. I should have took it apart. I think it's all screwed up anyhow, though. I can get one of these to move. Yeah, them valves are stuck in there. Anyway, the valve's going to come out on an angle So the problem with that is, being just a flat top piston, when it's all the way up to zero deck, this is just a mock-up, you have to watch cam lift with these, because this edge of this valve will touch the piston. A lot of people, they fly cut the piston, which is a little notch in the side, so this edge will clear. Let me zoom in a little bit. That's better. This edge right here will clear the piston, so they cut notches here or here. Generally it's the intake side, but you know, you're supposed to do both. The intake valve's always bigger than the exhaust side. Interrupted by a phone call again. Alright, I don't even know where the hell I was. Well, the problem with these heads is, like I said, when this comes up, it comes up on an angle. There's plenty of clearance here, but there's not clearance on these edges. And you can hit the piston. A big cam will do that. You probably have plenty of room to play with as far as lift. You'd have to do some math and try to figure out, make sure this don't hit this, especially at high RPM. You'd probably have to use hard springs. Make sure you don't get valve float and they hit the piston. Because, like I said, the Hemis come with a flat top. That's a nice thing. To make power, though, you're going to always up your compression. This gasket's got to go. Got to put a 10 thousandths on there. You're losing compression with this. It's 8.5 to 1. Put a 10 thousandths gasket on there, and you're probably going to be a little over 9 to 1. I'm not sure. I didn't do the math, but you're definitely going to have higher compression. I don't remember. I'm not sure. Because I haven't messed with a Hemi engine. I don't know if the flat top comes to zero deck. I think it does. I'm not sure. Alright, so the other problem with these is these spring pockets. Right in there. If you want to put a harder spring in, this is all got to be cut out. All around here has got to be cut out to get a bigger spring in there. And it's got to go a little deeper, or you'll experience coil bind, is where with a lot of lift, all these coils right here will meet each other, and there's no spring tension left. It's just a dead stop. So all this has got to be cut out, and it's got to be cut deeper, both sides. This side doesn't necessarily have this crap here, but this has got to be cut deeper. Now you gotta find somebody that can do that. A machine shop. That's got to be done. So it's another reason why people don't really use these for high horsepower applications. This, probably with a 10 thousandths head gasket, a mod 2 cam, probably be a good little runner. But if you want to start getting up into 1.3 rockers, 265 up cams, like you can do with these, now you're going to experience problems with springs, and you're going to experience problems with valve clearance. It actually almost feels magnetic. I think the screwdriver is. If this thing touches this valve edges, if they touch this, game over, especially at high RPM. You're going to need a hard spring to make sure they don't float. And like I said, this is all got to be cut out right here. These two little notches. I don't think it's necessarily on this side. No, it's not. But they got to be cut deeper also to accommodate a heavier spring. I don't like 18-pound springs. They're pointless. I do nothing less than a 22, and I really don't like doing that. 26 up, I mean, that's good. I mean, 26-pound springs is good range for anything. That's my gripe with these heads. Although I do like the way they look, especially the aftermarket valve colors they have for them. They're really nice. Better than these. they're just, if I wish I had the tools to machine all this crap, because I really would like to try out making a high horsepower build Hemi, because there's not a whole lot of them, because people don't want to dump the money in the machining and whatnot. Bigger valves will definitely cause bigger problems, so that's another thing. You're really going to have valve clearance. Like if you, like on a non-Hemi head, they do 32, 28 valves. That's definitely going to be clearance issues there. So that's another reason why people don't use these, because these are so close to the edges here. And just with some more lift, and things are going to smack that piston, and it's going to be game over for that. Now, the non-Hemi valves go straight up and down. You got a whole range of different lifts you can do. Valve lift. All that right there, there's all kinds of clearance there. No problems. Even with bigger valves, no problem, because they come straight up and down. Now, the flow characteristics might not be as good down in here, because it's not on an angle. You're not really going to notice that difference. You're just really not going to notice it. And you can't really see down in there, but you're not going to notice the difference between that little bit of flow between that head and this head. Good thing about these, put large valves in them, because they go straight up and down, no problems. You can go right from a dish piston, which I always do, because compression's power, to a flat top. Get that compression up, and make sure it's like a 10 thousandths head gasket in there. If there's anything else, that has to go. And you know, a lot of these don't come all the way up to zero deck. I get the longer rod. Make sure they come up to zero deck. That's more compression. Compression is power. Now with these, a lot of the non-Hemi heads, not all of them, you can just stick any springs in there. You can go up to some of these heads up to a 32 with no problem. A dual valve spring. I have a head around here somewhere. I don't know which one I did. Or was it 26s? I don't know. But they go right in there. Don't have to cut the spring pockets or nothing. The springs just go right in. Some of them don't. Like the 196 heads, the spring pockets really should have to be cut for heavy springs. Like anything over 22. Depends, I guess, on the casting. I don't know. Not too sure about these, because I never actually messed with one of these heads, but a lot of heads I had real good luck with, especially the Predator 212s, the regular Predator 212 head. It's a good head. You could stick a lot of different valve springs in there without coil bind. Like I said, we'll get demonstrated on here. Coil bind. Let me see if I can light this up a little more. Coil bind is going to be, damn thing, is when this goes all the way down. Man, I really wish I could get this on camera. When that goes all the way down, as far as that is right there, that's coil bind, where them coils touch. All the way down in there. All the coils are touching. That's coil bind. And a lot of heads experience that like real fast. But you can see how much valve lift you can get out of there. No problem before it hits anything. I wish I could try it on that, but them things are actually seized to the valve seat because it was full of water. These ports are actually pretty big on these too. I never even realized that. That exhaust port on that Non Hemi is pretty damn big. I might have to do something with this head. I might have to port and polish this and throw this on something. I didn't even realize that. That's a nice port on that. I have to keep that. I got another one of these too. I'm gonna port and polish that and put some stainless steel valves and stuff in there. But that's pretty much it between the Hemi and the non-Hemi head. I used to get people saying on the pages, all the Facebook pages, should I get Hemi or non-Hemi? If you plan on modifying it, get the non-Hemi. Take it back, whatever, blah, 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 whatever. And people would sit there and talk shit. You're a hater, you're a hater. I'm like, no, I'm not a hater. Because if they're like me, I can't leave nothing alone. I got to modify it. And these have limitations. And these really don't. That's why all your aftermarket heads are pretty much non-Hemis. Because of valve clearance. I think that's pretty much it. Hemi and your non-Hemi. Like I said, if you plan on doing mods down the line, get the non-Hemi. If you do, and this is all you have, and you reached your limits with it, as far as cam and valve springs and stuff in there, this will go on there. You can always pick one of these up online. You can get a Tilton head pretty much ready to go. It's pretty cheap. I think this was 75 bucks, but that's the head. Pretty standard valves, but it's a really nice cylinder head. I have one on that motor right there. Let's tilt you up. That motor has that head on it. It's a nice head. All I do is port and polish it. I believe it came with springs on it already. I don't remember. It's been a while. It doesn't matter. It comes with stainless steel valves, and it's just a really nice casting. So that's always a good way. The Hemi itself, I like the Hemi engine itself. Like I said, one, it comes with a flat top piston, and it'll accept the clone cams, which is 196 Honda clones. They all accept the same cam. It'll accept the same cam as the 224. Where the 212 the 212 Predator has its own camshaft. The only thing with the Hemis is that's proprietary is the crankshaft. The crankshaft has its own flywheel also, as does the Predator 212. Both Predator motors have two different flywheels. To where the 224 196 clones and any other clone Hondas, they accept the same flywheel. But I don't know, it's a lot to take in, but if you get into this stuff, you figure it out pretty easy. This is pretty much, like I said, a beginner video to help some new guys out, because you see a lot of people, they get misinformation. And just because somebody likes the Hemi because it's a Hemi, because of Dodge, that's the only reason why. I don't care what anybody says. They just think it's some great-ass engine that's going to make more power, and it really doesn't. Actually, if you watch Black 66's channel, he did a Predator Ghost, which comes with a Hemi head, and he put a non-Hemi head on it, and he got more power out of it. Well, he got more speed out of it, which, you know, is power. It's not like he dynoed it, but he used his ass dyno, and, you know, of course, speedometer, and he got more speed out of it. So this doesn't necessarily mean that this is a better head, because it really isn't. Unless you do the work, I guess, then you probably will make a lot of power with it. I don't know. I don't see many doing it, because it's easier just to buy one of these, throw it on, good to go, instead of machining a piston for this and machining them spring pockets out. And then realistically, like I said, if you want bigger valves, now you gotta cut the piston even more, and it's a mess. You could put a dome piston in there, but then you're gonna lose compression, and you don't want to lose compression, because compression is power. It's free power. That's the easy way to make free power with these motors, is to up the compression. That's why, like on the Ghost, the package they offer you, the aftermarket package with the exhaust and stuff like that, they offer you a thinner head gasket to up the compression. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. I did do a video a couple nights ago on the micro CT200. My damn stand don't want to work. The micro CT200. I did a second video of fabrication and whatnot, and something got corrupted with this damn phone, and I lost the whole video. So I'm going to make another video. There's some stuff done to it, but I'll go through what I did. I'll make another video later, and pretty much you can see what's going on with that. Also, I'm going to be doing some RC car videos on both of these. We'll get into that later. And this turd, been a lot of trial and error with this turd. Chains popping, the damn side cover coming off all the time. I'm going to do a video on that. I'm not going to get into that too much right now, because I'm going to do a whole video on why that damn side cover kept coming off. And it's pretty friggin' stupid, but it was trial and error, and then I figured it out. So, Hemi, non-Hemi, the differences and how to identify them. Thanks for watching.